Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. AR, why don't you say a few words so we can make sure they can hear you?
And make sure I can get out a sentence without coughing.
Same.
I
Dev,
have to go. I have to do public speaking tomorrow too.
that is why we're here on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Just eat an entire jar of honey.
And man, isn't that it's amazing timing for stuff that just happened coincidentally.
Oh no, is it something that's not on the notes list?
No, it's on the notes.
It's on the notes.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I
I
know
was
what
like,
I know what he's
Yeah.
talking about.
Man. We'll wait for them to confirm they can hear all of us. They are enjoying the weird teaser stuff where we're getting details of things, but just an image. And then I will have to deal with it in weeks. Let's see here.
There we go.
What was that?
Sometimes the chat doesn't update for me.
Yeah, ever since they changed it to start the scroll at the bottom, mine does that also. I have attempted to force it to update. Okay.
I don't have to worry about that because I
Yes.
don't bother looking at it.
Wait for one of them to comment if they can hear you guys or not. I had to redo the audio settings before the show.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I'm reasonably sure they can. Okay. They can hear us all. You guys ready to go?
Eh.
Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain, inform it. We'll talk about Digimon. I'm Mark, Run with the Will, and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver, and yes, I did shower today.
I am DevQ and feed me Seymour.
Oh man, that is such a better movie than this episode was. In fact, talking about better
Feed
Halloween
me.
things, I found a surprise for AR.
Uh-oh. Is it a
Oh
mean
yes.
green mother from outer space?
Look at what is being
Aww.
streamed live. It looks like they're streaming it non-stop live for the season.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
nice of
god.
them.
Yes.
I should watch that because I don't remember it at all.
Yes, they are streaming the Garfield and Friends Halloween special, the holiday specials, nonstop through the season. They began the stream on September 21st, and it is still going.
I have a feeling I'm going to remember that it's going to come back to me really quickly when I watch it.
Yeah.
Like childhood trauma.
Yeah. It's not
Yep.
just the Halloween one. They're actually rotating through the different Garfield holiday specials.
Huh.
Oh, nice.
So that's a fun little touch. And I better close that tab so I don't accidentally turn on the audio.
It's okay. That's better than this episode.
How has everybody's week been?
It's been all right.
I made a lot of money on overtime and then my car blew up.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, how's that been?
I have $100 left over.
Ugh.
That's not fun. We're here.
No.
We're here a day early because AR yells at people tomorrow.
Hopefully not yelling, but we'll see.
Just assassinate them.
If they deserve it,
And then to start off with, Ghost Game episode 46, Queen's Banquet. I think we're all kind of agreed that this is like the show's officially. We can't even joke about it being in a rut. It's in like the never-ending rut. At this point.
I am now openly questioning whether this is supposed to be farce.
We got a question regarding that we can go over later. I would say at this point it's very hard for me not to say that Ghost Game is maybe not the worst show. It's definitely the most boring show.
It's not boring.
Well, it's boring in the sense that it doesn't do anything exciting.
No, this is just it's mindless.
Yeah. That's probably better than boring.
It's entertaining, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get girls talking about swimming. Kotaro's there just to look at
Kotaro's,
girls.
He's being Kotaro.
Then he
Which
gets.
is always great. The primary sufferer for this episode immediately
I
ending
know
any
how.
sympathy you're going to have for this character by having
How
him.
nice is it that they actually focus on one of the side characters who's been there since the beginning, rather than just randomly going, this is one-off Jones who flew into Japan for the week and then they'll be gone forever, or they live down the street but we're not going to hear from them ever again, except maybe they'll be in a background shot.
That is the only thing that kept this episode from the D range, I'll be honest.
That
If they had introduced a completely new character to be suffering under Uliamon, yeah, this episode's complete garbage.
Yeah. He gets
I'm
stabbed.
glad Kotaro got the suffer though.
He gets
Oh
stabbed.
yeah, totally.
He gets stabbed in the back of the neck. A mark appears on him. They go to take a bath, and Kotaro sees the water is red with plants in it, which attacks him. As far as Hiro and Gamamon are concerned, he just slipped. He freaks out. He leaves. They still don't see anything, but they do notice the mark on his neck, which continues the theme that they will see shit that is wrong.
And
just shrug it off.
And they literally like they will literally walk past something and it's like, the devil is right here, he will talk to you. And they'll be like, man, that seems weird. Okay, bye.
Not even a courtesy heads up, you got a mole on your neck.
Yeah. Gamamon, at least
like, you got some really nasty back knee, dude.
Yeah. Gamamon declares him weird, which was amusing, I will say.
I mean, not wrong.
And they leave and they find him freaking out at puddles, which from his perspective we see it's the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He starts to freak out at a cup of water, but he is able to ignore that feeling, which was weird. Because that one...
I mean, I suppose he needs to live.
Well, I admit some confusion where every body of water in the episode he was seeing stuff in, except the cup in front of him, which he was still freaking out at anyways. It's like he was freaking out because he was waiting for it to freak him out.
You can close your eyes when you drink.
You can, but I feel like that might freak him out more. And then he just starts freaking out in the bathroom. Kiyoshiro's annoyed they haven't done the chores. Kotaro leaves the shop. I will say they made him not look well, if you get my meaning. Like,
you disheveled.
He accurately looks like shit.
Yes. Yeah. He looks into his sewer grate. Plants try to grab him.
Why wouldn't you do that just on principle?
And the weird one...
At what point does looking into a sewer grate when you're in that sort of state ever a good idea?
Yeah. And then, weirdly, he decides hiding under his... See, I don't get the hiding under the covers in a sense like this when shit is just jumping out at you. I would not...
Because obviously, the monsters can't touch you if you are, like, have a blanket over your head. It's the rules.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to see a plant Digimon going down from the ceiling, wondering if he is quote-unquote ready yet. Not yet, tomorrow. And then Hiro and Gamamon find him in a corner of his room with trash all around. He has not washed. He's not doing well. Gamamon even comments he will not do well with the ladies like this, and he does not care.
It was a callback to the previous, because Kotaro said something about that to them earlier, so Gamamon repeats it.
Yes.
I loved that.
He happily eats and drinks some of what they brought him. Hiro notices the mark yet again. Okay, so here's where I'm confused. I think I missed a line. Why did they decide to go to the pool?
Kotaro just decided... Initially, Kotaro brought Hiro one just to scope it out, like he just.
But why?
Out there
No. But here's where I missed something.
When they investigated,
he never saw anything there. Why would that? I must have missed a line of dialogue or something because he first saw stuff somewhere else, didn't he?
Well, that was the first place that Hiro saw him freaking out.
No. That was the bath.
Well, it's the same.
He didn't.
Yeah, that's the same area.
Okay. That explains it better.
It's all just one big community center that had a pool and a bath.
When they focused on the pool, I was confused because he didn't freak out there at all.
I think they were establishing the location.
It's all the community center.
No, fair enough. And then I like how everyone's there and everyone is just literally playing the part. Kiyoshiro wants to leave. A creature shows up behind Ruli, who has wandered off on her own, and sprays it with it was hairspray.
Hairspray. I think it was hairspray.
It's hairspray.
It's weird. Did they ever actually say what it was, or are we just assuming?
We're supposed to assume it's hairspray.
That's what I thought. But why she wandered off with hairspray? I don't.
No, it was in the trash can right there.
Oh, okay, that explains. That actually does explain it.
And also, when you have like bugs around you, any kind of aerosol is a good way to.
Oh
just,
no,
like,
I
get
agree with that.
away from you.
And then Kiyoshiro really doesn't. Kiyoshiro in any other show would be like the brilliant one for wanting to leave, because he actually has been right almost every time.
Yeah, it's like all the other kids, like, well, let's wander in this dilapidated building. We're gonna get axe murdered, and he's like, how about no?
Yes, and he's the paranoid, scared character, and he's actually been right every single time.
He's genre savvy.
And then the neck thing buds, which is odd because, am I wrong, or does that actually not really like have any relevance? Like, it was the mind control thing, but like she didn't really need to mind control him.
She was just making him hallucinate, just for shits and giggles.
But he was already hallucinating. What was the point of it budding? I mean, he was already hallucinating and freaking out and doing what she wanted him to do.
Well, he was hallucinating,
the hallucinating,
but
I think
the caused it mind control.
Yeah,
but
the bud.
No. I'm saying I don't get what the point of the mind control even was.
To get him.
It was like
location.
It was like to poorly expedite part of the plot because she didn't need to get him to any specific location.
It's not gonna cook him in his house.
That'd be polite. You have you have tools there and stuff. And then
there's not that much there. It's a dorm room. You might get interrupted when he's screaming.
There's
when
a kitchen.
You're trying to, cut him open.
There's a kitchen.
There's a public kitchen.
It's a public kitchen in the middle of the night. Tape his mouth shut. Seal the door.
Oh, come on. Ijima would probably walk in on them.
That's your closest thing to a proper argument here. But yes, he leaves, he walks out, and then we get the reveal that Hiro and Gamma are waiting for him, and Kotaro actually heard the tomorrow comment and told Hiro about it. Which is odd because here's why
we need to be kept in suspense on
that. Here's why we didn't need to be kept in suspense. The very second he walks out, we see them, and then we get the flashback. There was never any. They never set up any suspense that he was walking off actually on his own because the incident happened. They were already there. Yeah. And then
according to K.
And then this is where every character in the show actually is a fucking moron.
This can't possibly be a Digimon.
Yes, they don't see a Digimon standing there. It must not be a Digimon, even though it has been every time. The entire
didn't Rudy see it?
Screen times where it wasn't a Digimon.
No, but that's the thing. The entire logic was that if it was a Digimon, the Digimon would be standing right there, and the Digimon would see it. Because technically, Ruli was alone at the time, so the Digimon weren't there to see it and go, oh yeah, that's a Digimon. So they've just decided it's not one, which is really strange. And then he goes into a hair salon, which, I mean, Chekhov's gun, that goes back to it being hairspray. She talks to him in the mirror. They need to...
Chekhov's aerosol.
They need to fix up his hair, and he's just pulling out his hair with the brush.
You gotta give him a glow up because he's been disheveled for 2 weeks.
Get rid of clothes and shoes, and they instead give him a
hula skirt.
I wasn't sure what was going on with that.
Just gonna go with hula skirt and not comment.
And then Ruli's very bothered by this, and then
she should be.
And then he
just drops trowel right there.
And then he's supposed to shave with leaves. Okay.
And then he tried to eat a kiwi with the skin on.
I mean, that's why you peel the skin off.
That's kind of what he's doing.
If the show's gonna pretend to be horror, at least make a gag about peeling the skin. And then everyone's very shocked that Digimon's there, and the Digimon are like, she's been here the whole time. And then they never mention this again, that this was like an actual plot thing. And then all three of them evolve, and then they all get bashed, they're all captured. Kotaro, she starts trying to smell his face. We get an explanation why she didn't want him to bathe. It's like ripening fruit.
Okay.
She hasn't eaten a human before.
It
needs to be perfect.
That's doing a lot of work there.
Bad. She could just gone to a Smash Brothers tournament.
Yeah. Kotaro lies on a bed of leaves. She tells everyone else to be quiet. Were they actually unconscious?
No, they were. I think they were just like gagged.
But then why be surprised that you got jabbed? You felt it. You would have felt it.
Well, Kotaro didn't really feel it. He just thought it was like a droplet of water or something.
I guess. Then Sambare finally remembers who Oleamon is. He starts insulting her, talking about Iron Chef.
Yeah, it's the I can't believe you're just gonna eat him raw. Like, come on, cook him. I feel like that's been done in like Tiny Toons or something.
Oh, it is
such an old joke.
It is done in every kid's cartoon at least once. You don't know what you're doing. You better untie me and just let me help.
Yeah.
And then
I think I've specifically seen you're just gonna eat him like that. Come on,
I'm pretty sure Digimon's done this gag before.
Oh, possibly. I'm trying to recall the Bakemon thing in Adventure.
I think like Joe's just like tied up and they're just shaking salt on him.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they did season them in that case.
And Sambare lets her know the best way to deal with food is to steam it. He grabs a barrel. He comments he learned this from his novels, which is this like the only time they've actually followed up on him like being a...
That is
it's the second one.
Yeah, that's such a random callback.
Yeah. He can't fill the barrel though. The mark means he won't deal with water, so she removes it from everyone. And then he kicks the barrel at her. And everyone is free now. She's upset. Kiyoshiro hits his watch to make a digital space.
I'm upset too for different reasons, but okay.
We are back at Digimon being confused and upset at the space rather than not caring or whatever.
I think she was more upset and confused that her food was gone.
She was, but she also seemed confused at what was going on.
It's like nobody told me I'm not supposed to eat humans.
And then when she talks about the food smelling good, Ruli runs off and grabs cans, explode. And then Beto bashes it with flame, which makes it go kaboom from the gas. And then Oleamon gives up, and she basically like, go ahead and kill me. Just do it. And they don't, but they want to know why she decided she had to eat humans, since she clearly had never had one before. And she once served a human delicacies in the digital world, and he commented they sort of smelled like when someone didn't bathe, and she decided that meant humans were a delicacy and she had to go to the real world. And of course, it's Hakuto.
Yeah,
and I like how they don't.
Rudy was.
I like
that Rudy's just like, yep.
No. What I like was at first they show us it's Hakuto. We get the whole conversation, but they never mention his name or anything. And then Hiro goes, "Was his name Hakuto?" And she's like, "How would you know that?" And we just get really rolling her eyes, like
even the characters. I love that even that. Okay, if Hiro's gonna be containing, at least the other characters are gonna get annoyed by it.
Yeah. And then they take her to Clockmon to figure out a place for her, and Kotaro wants to go take a bath. And then it ends with her having become a web chef who cooks with foods with odd smell, and people just assume she's like an AI chef. And Goramon's
she's just shoveling down like disgusting things into her mouth.
Yeah. And then Hiro's study file is Oleamon. And man, this really was like the generic, it was fine. And Ghost Game has done, oddly, every part of this episode before, multiple times.
Every part of this episode.
It's know.
Like, almost died.
Really?
It's fine.
So my entire paragraph of my review is just all of the things they have done before, and it's long.
I'm pretty sure you could almost construct this episode out of other episodes, down to the plant Digimon having a weird obsession with a kid.
Yes, I mentioned that too.
And that wasn't even that long ago. Like,
I don't know how long ago it was. Like, time doesn't exist in this show.
Episode?
I don't think we even had Lamortmon at the time.
Oh no.
I don't know. I'm not going to go back and check. It's like
No,
all these
oh, hell no,
episodes are
no.
just running together now.
There's only 3 Ghost Game episodes, and they just changed the visuals enough that they can call it new.
We have a question about this later
Yeah.
on that you mentioned. I have things to say about
Yeah,
that.
so do I. It brought to mind certain things, especially since some of this stuff we've all been thinking about, like what is actually going on production wise, and I have some ideas, but we'll get into that.
But I do think that this would work a lot better if they had set some of these things up, particularly It's All Hokuto's fault, had set those up earlier on as being kind of a running gag and just being a joke, and by now it's just completely intended to be absurd.
Well, it's like when
Just beaten to death.
it's like when I brought up the thing from Power Rangers, where they spent so much time in between actually deciding it was a gag. It's like they realized they forgot to do characterization, so they've just decided it's a running gag, even though it has not really happened that much in 45 plus episodes. And then, yeah, so I think we all kind of agree when it's not really a good episode. Like here's the thing: if the show was put together better and this was just like a random one-off episode, I think we'd actually be rather happy with it. The problem is it's just part of a repeating theme now.
It's amusing enough, but so are all the other ones.
Yeah. And then the only guest this time is Haruna Ekizawa, who makes her first Digimon appearance as Olemon. A lot of roles: Momoko and Sergeant Frog, Poron and Pretty Cure, Yoshino and Maria Watches Over Us, Kaimi in One Piece, Athena in a bunch of King of Fighters stuff, and she has a few dubbed over roles. Are you ready?
Anything entertaining?
Here we go.
There's a few interesting ones, weirder than normal, I'd say. So first is she's Coco in the Crash Bandicoot games.
Okay.
She's Transmutate in Beast Wars. And Megan McAllister in Home Alone 2.
Only 2.
I did not. I was too tired to decide. I'm too tired to dig into this hole.
Yeah, it's like it's not worth a deep dive, but it raises questions.
Yes, it raises questions. It's not important enough to the show to have me actually spend time and check.
Yeah, it's like I think she was the sister that gets like 2 lines each movie.
Probably. I did not care enough to double check, even though I like the earlier Home Alone movies.
Yes, and the first 2 are good. Yes. Yeah.
And then next time's episode 47, Memory of Eternity, that falls into the genre of modern Digimon episode of people assume it'll be special because one Digimon they want to see in the cartoon is showing up. It is that genre of episode, and we have guide data, and it tells us who the Digimon is, which oddly they've like tried to avoid that in some episodes lately, where you can be 100% sure who it is. In the preview, you can 100% see it's Shatteramon.
Yeah.
They've kind of avoided that lately. I think that there is no weird disguise for Shatteramon. It's not going to be like Raphael with a hat and coat. You have to kind of just show Shatteramon. And then
there's this armor thing.
Yeah. And then from guide data, we get White Bride the week after, then Crimson Harvest Festival, then The Return of Favor. And here's where you can tell that either they skipped some hiatus weeks or they have moved an episode or 2 around, because the Halloween episode is October 30th, despite that they had a hiatus that was unplanned.
Yeah,
a lot of these episodes you can just move around.
Well, it's like I said. Did I say it last week or the week before? There are plenty of episodes we've had lately. They don't even evolve to perfect. So these minus random cameos that they could have like just decided to do from 1 or 2 characters, these could have been episodes from 20 episodes ago.
Yeah, and remember that last week's episode specifically mentioned the dates, which were current.
Yeah, but that was very minor compared to
easy thing to do.
Yeah, that you can that can change easily. An actual Halloween themed episode actually requires making the episode about Halloween. You can't just
you could do that a month early or whatever.
You could, but No. I mean the actual like the episode is about Halloween is what I mean.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can't just throw one pumpkin in and have everyone go, "It's the Halloween special." Although I'm sure some show has done that.
It's kind of like Atmon, but
Yeah.
Atmon came really close to that.
To be fair, the one was great because you had Gatchmon walking around in the costume, talking about trick or treating and
Haru's
candy.
Halloween costume was putting his goggles on.
Oh, but that's Haru being lazy. Gatchmon was very excited about the whole thing. He dressed like a pumpkin. I think that's one of the episodes where we almost see under his hat because he was reaching and grabbing his the Gatchmanoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the digital singles up basically everywhere it's going to be. I think this has more energy than the TV size version and a bit of different, a few differences. I just don't think the song's as good as like some of the recent ones.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It didn't have like a really interesting bridge or anything, but it
It,
was
it
okay.
it is probably the first one in a while though where there actually is more to the song than what's actually in the TV version. I'm not saying that necessarily makes it better, but there are like actual changes and stuff.
I enjoy a good bridge.
So that's that's on any number of services. I like when the Japanese stores will actually let us purchase it if you just want to own it digitally.
Like, please just let me spend my money. Oh, thank you.
And then it's anniversary time. Over the past few days, October 6th, both for the 22nd anniversary of the theatrical release of Digimon the movie, and then the second anniversary when we finally got Kizuna because COVID stuff.
Woohoo!
And then the fun part is we actually know at this point what's going on with the O2 movie. Nothing like release date, but we actually have like an idea what's going on.
They are making it.
Yes. Always nice to get the fun little anniversaries. I think people get way too obsessed with that poster though. I mean, it's not good for the Digimon the movie, but like the number of people who seem to like bring it up weekly is really strange. I'm just looking at
it's just mesmerizing how strange it is.
absolutely. And then
it's just a clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then Digimon Blu-rays are up to pre-order. And yes, and
I feel like I should just like go to the bathroom because I think you're going to talk for a while.
Oh no, I assume you have plenty to ask about. Yeah.
I think you have things to say.
Lots of remastering. It's solicited for sale. It's out December 27th. I worked on it a lot, along with a lot of other people. The closed captioning for the entire thing for anyone who needs them. So first, the visual stuff we sort of went over when it was announced earlier in the year, but it's roughly about that. And man, it was a lot. I think the side by side of Angemon was one that I had to make to show people. I think
it's like you don't realize just how bad the original was until you see a side by side.
It was low. It was low quality composite tapes, and that's what there is. Then, after the upscale was done, I had to watch and make notes, and then over that process, there were over 1,500 notes of things to hopefully fix up. And Justin wrote up because he finished going over the notes today, and he wrote that up and in detail, like the stuff that went on to try to make this look decent. It was it's the type of thing where at this point I've been dealing with it for like the actual video for 6-7 months, so I'm still like processing it at this point now that it's like basically done. But basically, a prior licensor, when they were deinterlacing it for streaming, they did it wrong, and that was the only master that was kept. And
fantastic.
That means we had to fix that. And by we, I mean I had to notice it, and Justin had to fix it.
Rest
Teamwork.
in peace, both of you.
But on top of that, stuff like finding the audio for the episode, a few of the episode recaps were missing, which is something people noticed on DVD. We had to find that. We had to put the video back together to match. Some of the episodes, as everyone knows, have always looked more broken than the others. I don't know. I don't know the story behind that. I assume a failing editing machine back when Saban put it together. Those episodes.
They're like, we don't give enough of a fuck about this.
Yeah.
Just push it through.
Those episodes, we had Caleb actually took the Japanese SD episodes and recut them, and all the edits had to be redone. So, for example, one of the episodes was the one where Nanimon drinks.
Yes.
And those bottles all had Japanese text on them that did not exist in the English version.
Mm-hmm.
He made them all jelly donuts.
It was.
Oh no, it was. No. Hot sauce was Wizardmon.
Hot sauce was Wizardmon.
Yeah, it was soda for Nanimon.
Soda
so all those have to be done, and then stuff like, can we find the fonts they use to recreate titling, because that stuff does not exist in the Japanese version. So that stuff had to be redone, and I'm still processing a lot of what we did, to be honest. It was a lot.
Brain hurty.
Yes, that is up to pre-order. That'll be out December 27th. I'm sure I will have plenty more to say about it. But one of the things to bring up is we were able to get together some extras. We were able to include one old TV promo, which I'm not commenting on beyond it being a TV promo.
Okay.
The only thing that comes to mind is the horrifying snowman commercials.
I make no comment to what the TV promo is. Mine is that it is not any of the Digi-bloop. That's because we were able to include a number of those. The fake bloopers that were done a few times.
Man, I always forgot those existed.
Those are great.
Yeah, and then we were able to do art galleries. We were able to do 4 with over 250 images.
Nice.
Full color images from Toei.
Ooh.
Yeah. Full color and everything. Very nice. I'm very happy we could include them. When the set's out, some of the video extras I'll explain in more detail. It's not the time for that now, because I'd rather some of what they are to be a surprise. Because people are like, are there any Fox Kids promos? I bet you can't include anything that says Fox Kids. It's like, no comment for now. We'll see. But yeah, it was a lot of work, and man, I'm happy how everything looks, to be honest. The main thing that we've all tried to make very clear is it is not going to be perfect. It is not possible, just due to
technical limitations.
Well, technical limitations of how the show is made.
This was made like over 20 years ago.
Yeah. No. We have stuff that's older that looks nicer. It's because it was a very early digital show. And I will say part of the reason why we probably can do it is the production team that made the show, certain things that you expect in old digital shows aren't here. Like, a lot of them, the colors are almost too flat. And they have a bit more of a full color palette here. Like, if you watched any anime around like 2001, 2002, a lot of the early Digipaint shows, like, the colors are very flat and weird looking. Here, there's a bit more life, so it looks nice. The effort that they made putting the show together, despite the composite oddities, it just worked well enough. Still going to be plenty of issues, we're sure, but yeah.
It will be watchable now without cringing horribly.
Yes, very much so.
It's like, let me just stream this episode. Oh God, this is horrible.
And I'm turning off the rotating thing. This came up where someone's like, I see a smudge in the screenshot that was posted. Justin went and got a screenshot of the same thing from the master tape, and I put together a side-by-side for this just to show you how different it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see the dot crawl and stuff from the composite tapes. that's just the show, and that is not completely gone, but it's mostly gone, and it's much more watchable now. Very happy with that, to be honest. And then moving on from the Blu-rays for now, because I have another 2.5 months to talk about them before they're out. New Digimon from New Century, which we know nothing about, and everything that anyone has said about it appears to be made up or guesswork because none of that information appears to be anywhere at the moment.
That is certainly a bird cat.
It is
Nothing new.
certainly a Chinese griffin.
It looks like Yatagaramon married a leopard.
I will say this, the color scheme's really nice.
It's very blue.
Yeah. And then next up, we get cards. Candmon. I love how it's not only that, it's the alternate angle of a pre-existing card, and they reprinted the card for the starter deck. Because if you look at the Wizardmon card, it's the same scenery and everything.
I like when they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get the Candmon card, the Wizardmon reprint. We get an X antibody reprint with new art. And that is very much X antibody related art. It's weird because with X antibody you expect it to just be the visual, and they have to have it be the visual. So you just get the character standing around and looking at
yeah.
Yep, that's an X.
That is certainly a MacGuffin.
Yeah. And then
it's got some dots on it.
And then we get Phascomon doing his best impression of a drop bear. And then Sonorizamon, he gets a nice one jumping with the rock Digimon and everything.
It's adorable.
I know. It's very adorable, and it reminds me how much I hate that translated name.
Yeah.
But yeah. Some of them where they're consistent enough about it where I just don't have the energy to argue it because it's not going to happen. Like they've used that name 99% of the time. That's the name.
That's what they are sticking to.
Yeah. And then Porcupamon gets. He's very knifey.
Yeah.
That's
certainly a Digimon.
I don't know what else to say, minus he's very knifey and he's sitting by the water and he's waving to someone. I don't know.
It's a very nice sunrise.
Yeah. And then we get to see Algomon taking discs so they can eat them.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. Skull Sadamon gets a straight reprint card.
This looks really familiar.
Yeah. Death Slinger gets a straight. Here's the thing: the art on Death Slinger was so nice, I had to go double check that it wasn't new. Not because I doubt it, but I'm like, damn, this is nice art. I want to make sure this is actually a reprint and not just off the top of my head that I'm remembering that. We also got to see the sleeves that come with it. I will say I like that they're just using the Beelzebumon sigil.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice to see that because it really does look nice. And then they did the Super Tamer Battle Report, and I will link this one in the chat for those in the YouTube chat, because one thing everyone wants to know is, when are you going to put up those pictures of the costumes you talked about? Well, the report shows them off. It was Chiba and Ryota. I thought one of them might be the second, but because I couldn't tell because of the mask, but it is indeed Chiba. It's Alphamon with the Oryuken, and Ryota has Junpei.
I am absolutely delighted.
I know. And then towards the bottom, you get the photo I was talking about that they put up on the card game thing, where it's like the really nice photo, and Ryota's like, I'm tired, I want to go home, and Chiba's like trying to pose. Yeah, and they also showed off a card from Madonhei Online, which is just a reprint of a Yaman card with the little logo in the corner. They also announced that for these, they will be doing 2 deck cases in leather, 1 normal, 1 Beelzebumon themed, and each will come with 2 copies each of 6 new parallel cards for about $35, which is too much. Unless the cases are just the most badass thing you ever made.
I was gonna say, depending on how sexy the cases are.
Here's the issue. Let's assume that I did not translate anything wrong and they are indeed leather. How badass of the design would have to be that they did 2 of them that you have to buy separately and $35 and it includes promo cards.
I don't know, they could do like foil embossing.
If it's just the Bellsmon with his back turned that they're using for the winner's card, what would your reaction be to that?
Slight disappointment.
Yeah, this event, Madon, he's in about 3 weeks. So we'll know soon enough because they have to show it so people can buy it. And then, as promised a while ago, they said the English version of Booster Set 10 would have 2 exclusive alternate art cards. No specific information when or if they may show up in the Japanese card game. We have the art for both of them. We get Beelzebubon with a very nice painted style. We get to see like a cloudy Balmon behind him, which is great. And then an Anime Plus Decker Greymon. I like both of these. I don't really see the point of them being exclusive, to be honest.
I feel like they'll probably end up being like a promo later.
Yeah, probably. But it's like, if it's going to be like, okay, these are 2 cards that for now are going to be exclusive to the English version, I almost expect like some weird sort of like fancy art card with like a foil signature or something. Not just like these look like completely like they belong in the set, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like Decker Greymon. It's nice to see it. Decker Greymon's one of those that easily falls between like the falls into the pit. It's Metal Greymon with a big cannon that he already has, and also boots.
But the cannon is shaped like an alligator face. That makes it better.
It does, but also boots. And then Fun Digica, they did a match with Booster Set 11. Nothing super exciting to mention there because it's out. We've seen it. And then Angemon model kit pre-orders are up $20.
$20.
I 100%.
Absolutely amazing price.
I think we all stand behind what we said last week. Is that is the thing that if someone wants and they don't want to get like the collector's expensive stuff, the standard model kit prices are so fucking $20. Although I would admit you probably want to wait for like it to be stocked in the US so you don't have to deal with international shipping.
Yeah.
But yeah, the price on that's great, especially since it looks so nice. And think, we were supposed to get an Angemon model kit like 12 years ago, and we finally have one. Because Angemon was one.
They might still do the amplified.
Yes. Here's the thing: if they do an Angemon amplified, do you think people get upset if it is not based on the reboot design?
Yes, they will. They will be so salty.
There's a new Gundam show on the air. People could just buy a white Gundam, buy Wing Zero, put the wings on it, and put the Angemon head from this on it. And bam, you got it. And then, I don't know how I feel about them teasing the pop-up shops like this, to be honest.
Just give us the fucking art already.
Yeah.
It starts December 3rd. You get one piece of art and still it's the other, but I will say this. It helps in 2 ways. One, it's not the December art from that Tamer's shop that we're still mocking. where like the art did not work. And 2, I believe the last pop-up shop these guys did were the ones where it was the Adventure and Tamers art, where it was like pop themed, but it was like pop art themed, but it was just like the profile art, like put through a filter.
Yeah, but like
yeah.
This is a sequel to that shop. So like we get new art of the Frontier kids. They really need to they really need to have that Ogdemon face as like a sticker or like a pillow.
Yeah.
Like where it's just
that'd be great as a keychain, actually.
I just hope they don't do like gradual reveals of these. That they just do like Takuya now and a little closer. They just show all of them at once.
Here's the thing. They showed this when it was 2 months until it opens. A lot of times these things, they only reveal stuff like a week or two before. It feels like they may be doing the dickish, we're going to show one a week, and then we'll show the products, right? Like, that lines up a little too well at this point.
That's just annoying.
Oh, no, it really is, because here's what it also means. It means I'm writing like 6, 7, 8 articles about this where it's literally just like, here's the thing. If you look at the article now, what do I really have to say? Because I'm not going to sit there and write like the 10-minute YouTube diatribe about, the clickbait diatribe. So it's like, a new pop-up store is coming to Loft, blah, blah, blah. New art of characters in pajamas. They show off tease this one. December 3rd, more details soon. Because I'm not gonna write that shit.
Next week we're gonna get
It's
Koji
all the information you need.
See,
you don't need to
no. Here's the thing. Okay, fine. We will guess who the next one is. I don't think it's Koji. I think you finish with Koji.
You finish with Koji? Okay.
Because here's the thing.
Next one's
Frontier's marketing is always around those two, even now. So I think you finish with one of the big exciting ones.
Okay. Junpei's next.
Tomoki next.
Tomoki next? Okay.
I think it's Tomoki or Izumi. Because they're at the top. I think you fill out the top first, then you do the side ones at the bottom, then you finish with Koji.
Well, I was thinking like you do it in triangles, like you do then Junpei, then Koichi, and then Izumi, Tomoki, Koji.
That's another way to do it, but yeah, who knows? It's stupid that they do it. It's annoying.
It's stupid to even speculate. It's stupid that they would even do it that way.
Yeah. And then,
I hope they don't.
And then, official Bandai poll, closed up results for favorite Digimon from the version 2. Man, this isn't shocking fucking at all.
It's the boy.
Skull Greymon, Gabumon, Angemon, Metal Mamemon. I think me or Dev called that it would be like weirdly high, but behind the important ones.
Metal Mamemon's really popular.
Yeah. Then
especially in Japan.
Kabuterimon, Garurumon gets knocked down because people voted for Gabumon. Although they aren't that far apart, to be honest. Elecmon, Waymon, Yukidarumon, Birdramon, Vadamon, and Vegemon. Poor Birdramon. Birdramon's a TV star that's at the bottom, basically.
I think I even said that Birdramon wouldn't do as well.
Yeah, I believe you did. There were too many big names. Yeah, you definitely did.
There are too many good ones.
Is there anything shocking about this one at all? I don't think
that Vetemon actually got 2%.
To be fair, someone is always going to vote for the weird one just in the hopes it will win.
Yeah, Vetemon has
figured, more people would vote for, the rancid vegetable.
Oh, I don't know. I think Vetemon. I think Vetemon tying Vegemon for last.
It sounds
in some
right.
regard is, I'm not surprised Vetemon's low. I think Vegemon made it even closer than I expected. I don't think there's all that much special about Vegemon.
Yeah, everything there is about what we'd expect it to be, I think. And then we got to see the traditional from Tenya Buno. The new Psycho Jump came out, so he puts up the title page. Always nice to see his art. And then the fun one is we saw the Atmon sketch last week of Naoki Akamine, who did the manga, saying he hadn't seen Haru in a while, he wanted to, so he drew him. Beautiful colors.
It really is. It's very handsome boy.
The highlights and the overlays are so good. I just want to steal their style.
We get the digital fish. We get a little Gatchmon keychain.
I like the digital fish getting back in there.
The phone,
that's so random.
The phone is styled after Gatchmon's app.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very beautiful art, to be honest. And then this is the type of art you don't expect. Yu Shimamura, the voice of Jellymon, posted a clip of her drawing Jellymon. And then the end result was very cute. I'm very amused by the finished drawing, to be honest. It looks really nice. And I like it. I like how even in her comment she's like, there may be some differences and this isn't official. It's just meant to be fun. And she also comments, it's hard to draw while talking. Yeah. And then Natatex, who does animation on Ghost Game, was one of the animation directors for this episode. They posted art the same day that had nothing to do with the episode itself. The first one was of Kiyashiro. She basically she doesn't think she had they don't think they'd put up one with like a serious face. All of the ones they put up of Kiyashiro is him like getting fucked up or whatever.
That's a serious face.
Yes. And then the other one was.
Well, he thinks it's serious.
Yeah, he thinks it's being serious.
He looks like he's been possessed by Jellymon.
Then the other one is of our three leads, all with sort of their personalities. Hiro is annoyed. Kiyoshiro's scared. Yeah. Really doesn't really fit like the hand up to the mouth laughing thing to me.
She trolling.
Yeah, she's trying.
She's trying to be polite.
Yes.
And then amused by whatever's happening.
They also put up art for the episode, which is Kotaro along with Plant Lady, and they commented they had a lot of fun drawing the various Kotas. Because he made like we got more Kotaro in this episode than like episodes that have been about him in the past, where normally he just like walks and like, I'm a pervert, and then he leaves.
Yep. I'm a pervert. I'm going to initiate the plot, and then we don't see him again.
And then he's going to be replaced.
My pupils are drawn very tiny. I am the comedic relief character.
Yes. Then we also got the profile art for Oleamon, and they were added to the reference book.
That's a flower.
Yep. Evil flower.
Yep.
I keep trying to decide. Trying to decide if I like that they're the little spiny leaves coming out of the like about where the elbows would be. I don't know if I like that to it, or if it's just like add some breaking up that helps.
Aesthetically, it's fine. I think
my issue is it doesn't.
I think it's a good reference to a plant, whatever plant this was inspired by.
Also, it kind of looks like the sleeves look like kimono sleeves, kind of.
I agree. My issue is it feels like it doesn't match the rest of the design. Is my issue with that touch.
An angry banana.
Oh, good. Now we're all gonna fucking see that. that hadn't come to mind, Dev. Now I'm just gonna be like, that shows an angry rotting banana.
It's just a chimera of various produce at this point.
And then we have questions. You guys in the chat can throw yours up. The first one someone sent was, they want to know what is the most time-consuming type of news post that I do it with the will. Before I answer,
is it gradual reveals of Frontier pop-up stores?
Before I answer, I want to know what you guys think it is seriously, though. Not the joke Frontier.
You have to harass like half of your friends who vaguely speak Japanese to try and translate something.
Honestly, no.
Or recaps of teaser shows that you don't watch.
Those ones. So that's probably the right answer, but it wouldn't be the answer I'd give for one reason. I've skewed so hard to tweeting them that it's basically just copy-pasting the tweet data later. I'm not actually like sitting there just doing the article. I'm watching it and writing at the same time.
That's why I'm specifying the ones you don't watch live.
Ones where you have to dig through VPNs to try and get links to purchase things off of various Japanese websites.
Those can be annoying. Digimon Partners actually puts up a lot of screenshots, and they always end up being WebP, so I have to convert them. I have to name them. I have to make sure I'm embedding them. But the ones that I think actually take the most time... So here's the thing. Let's say Digimon Partner puts up the phone cases. I know how to write that article, and I know exactly what to do because it's just a product listing. The ones that tend to take the longest are the Saturday night junk posts because I have to keep track of what actually goes in there. And then I have to put it all together. And the problem is because it's nothing that's timely, like if a product gets announced and it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, I'm like, okay, blah, blah, grab everything put together, and then in half an hour the article's there. This is Saturday night. I've eaten, I've watched the show, I'm often doing something else, so I'm putting it together and trying to keep track of it and it's like there's no timeliness to it. So it ends up being this weird thing where maybe it'll be up in half an hour. Other times it'll take me 2-3 hours to do it because there's no focus. Like if you look at the one from this Saturday, we have the episode thing with the art, then more art, little translated messages that I have to make sure are correct. That's like
more art.
And often things are still going up at that point. That's like, oh wait, there was the update from the Appmon art. I have to go track that down. Then I have to do what's been big enough during the week to actually catch up and mention again. So it's sort of just like the weird potpourri takes long because it's not like a focused, I'm talking about a model kit and this is what there is. It's
a lot of little pieces everywhere.
Yeah. So it ends up taking longer because there isn't the mental focus to do it. Let's see.
Like, you're not just doing the laundry, you have to clean up the whole apartment.
Yeah. The next up, someone wants to know, what sweets, candies do we eat around Halloween, both now and when we were kid grabbing candy? I guess
candy corn.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna be buying candy corn in a few days to eat. I love candy corn.
I don't
I don't think it really counts as like a candy, but pumpkin cake.
I don't know. I don't really specialize in a Halloween candy. I just enjoy Reese's.
I like Reese's too.
Like as a kid, I think I favored Nestle Crunch a little bit more, but now I'm pretty much Reese's is my go-to.
Still like Nestle Crunch. Sometimes it's nice to get Bunch of Crunch though.
Ooh,
I like going out trick-or-treating with my family and ending up with more candy than my nieces.
What type of when you go out trick-or-treating, what type of bags do you make sure everyone has?
Usually it's just like a little canvas tote bag. Sometimes it has like, a Halloween print on it.
The last few times me and my brother went trick-or-treating, I remember we got rid of dealing with totes and we just took pillowcases. It was like,
definitely use pillowcases for many an occasion.
It was like, this has to be efficient to get as much candy as possible. We don't have many more years left where we can get away with doing this. It's efficiency. Get a pillowcase and go.
Yes.
I mean, my kid is young enough that we don't hit enough houses to worry about efficiency. Like, he still has Halloween candy from last year, so we're not really worried about.
I will say,
maximizing.
I will say this: in no way do I want it, but when I was younger, I did use the McDonald's buckets. So I have no plans. I have no plans to get one, but I'm very amused they're doing those again.
I think that everybody wanted to see those again. I'm sure some will pick them up out of nostalgia for their kids.
I honestly believe nostalgia means they will sell out of them.
Yeah,
I have little doubt they're gonna.
I don't think I'm using them just because they're probably too small for being practical.
Yes. They're
like if the aim is one of those McDonald's buckets, you can do better than that.
Yeah. Here's the thing: it's practical if you're going with a 2 or 3 year old, and it's about the experience of trick. It's not what you want for actual candy.
Yeah.
But yeah, candy corn. I'm definitely gonna be grabbing some.
Oh, I've been eating that shit since they came out in July.
Yeah, I need to get some, but yeah, I definitely plan to. Have you ever tried any of those flavored candy corns? I haven't tried any of those.
Some of them, the funfetti ones, they taste like ice. They taste like icing in cake. So
yeah, that sounds like that'd be okay.
And last year I had I think it was like the apple caramel ones, just because like my coworkers got a bag and we kind of split it out of curiosity. Those tasted just fine.
Yeah, those sound.
I'm probably just gonna get standard, but I may try one small bag of some weird different one which I've never tried before.
It'd be nice if they had like
a sampler,
a mixed bag of like the little tiny ones.
Yeah. Yes, it would be nice for like a weird it's very strange to me that there are even flavors of candy corn, to be honest. I don't know when that started, but I don't remember that existing before maybe 10 years ago.
It's a more recent, more like 5 to 10 years tops.
Okay, and then Ballman wants to know in the chat, I like how they ask it specifically in a way that they figured out I will answer it and not just like wave it off. If Discotech was to do more Digimon stuff, would it take as much work as Adventure? Justin actually mentioned this in his thread. If we were to do more, his preference would be if we were to actually do it, probably just recut them. Because if we do more and if it has those same deinterlacing issues, we would probably just recut them because that's
more time efficient than
literally trying to.
resing.
Yes, it would be. Yeah, that's one of those things. But we're not doing them, so who knows what state stuff's in.
So basically, that means buy lots of the Digimon Adventure box to incentivize them.
Yes, basically, we would do our best to try to make everything look nice if we do them, but we wouldn't know what state stuff's in. Basically, we try to do nice upscales for anything that does not exist native. If something is lower quality, it means that's what exists. Like the J9 shows. We did all 3 of those. We didn't do upscales. The only copies are based off tapes from like the early 80s. There's just nothing to do with them.
The main priority, of course, for Zero Two Word Tamer's release is getting the rights to have the Digibowl as an extra.
No.
You want to.
People have already sent me messages asking if you guys do Adventure 02, you're gonna get the Digibowl, right? It's like,
that sounds like that would be a pain in the ass to try to get.
Well, here's the thing. I don't even know who you would ask about that because Fox still owns Fox Sports. But is that something Disney would own since they bought part of Fox? I wouldn't even know where to start with that. And believe me when I say I'm only worried about Adventure right now.
I don't think
clusterfuck of licensing bullshit.
I don't think Disney has Fox Sports.
But here's
I feel
the
like if it was, I feel like if they'd bought Fox Sports, they would have rolled it in with
no. But you're missing what I was saying though. They bought Fox. Does Fox Sports own those clips, or is it something owned by Fox Family Worldwide, which Disney owns? Or do they technically co-own it? Because at the time it was the same company. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where I can 100% honestly say I'm only worried about Adventure at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to make everything as nice as we can. Is the honest truth. I'm only worried about Digimon Season 1 right now, honestly. Yeah. Ballmung says they'd like the Digibowl, but it's probably a logistical nightmare.
I cannot imagine it'd be easy to do.
Yeah.
It's almost certainly more trouble than it's worth. That's why I'm demanding.
Or you could just recreate it.
Terry Bradshaw has cancer. I don't think he's doing the Digibowl
No, we're dressing you up as Terry Bradshaw. But like a bootleg Terry Bradshaw.
Isn't bootleg Terry Bradshaw the one assistant from Coach? The one that does Patrick.
Oh man, oddly, I never thought about that, but you're right. They might have actually based that visual off Terry Bradshaw. I never considered that before. Okay, let's move on so we don't all talk about Coach now.
Oh God, that's right.
If the collector,
we've done that before.
Yeah,
one of our it's one of our traps. Yeah.
If the collectors and speculating market for Digimon V pets and other Digimon products were to go down, what would the negative be for fans? None.
Nothing.
There's technically one negative, and I don't think the 3 of us care. It means anyone who's been buying it for speculation reasons gets fucked.
Oh well.
Yeah, because here's the thing, we all get some of this stuff, but I don't think any of us are ever buying it going, I'm buying this thing, and the only reason I'm buying it is so it can sit there, and so that hopefully I can sell it for 10 times as much in a few years.
This is true, although to be fair, I have actually made more money selling 2 of my Digimon cards than I have in all the money I've actually
But
I've
but
actually spent buying
but you
Digimon
actually but you
cards.
actually bought the cards to
Yeah,
make
yeah, yeah.
little decks for you and your kid, and
I haven't actually made a deck yet, we just have pretty Digimon cards
but
to
that's
look
what I mean.
at.
You bought them to
Yeah.
have cards.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah,
them ended up
totally.
being valuable, and it made more
Yeah,
sense to sell them.
yes.
You aren't doing like the thing where like, okay, the original version 1 is worth, people will buy it for, I don't know the number, let's say 100.
If it doesn't have a secret rare next to it, I haven't even looked it up.
Yeah. So it's one of those, and then they buy it, and then they just kind of throw it to aside, and then a year later you hear from them on eBay or on Twitter going, anyone who wants it can have it for $300.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't think any of us care if people like that get hosed. In fact,
Yeah.
do you remember when we joked about it happening with retro video games, with people getting into it who didn't understand it?
Oh, yeah,
Yes, and
yeah.
They're
also didn't we pretty much purposely tank the
Yes. To be fair, I didn't
Mhm.
do
yeah.
that on purpose. I bought it so that everyone could have it, rather than the people who were getting it as shelf pieces. Taking it was a bonus.
Yes. Yes, it was. It was a
And now,
bonus.
literally, you don't see them on eBay anymore because they're completely fucking worthless. We literally tanked an entire market for that style guide.
Ah.
Good job.
Makes me happy. But yeah, I I don't think any of us care in the least if someone tried to fuck with people, pushed up prices, and then they get hosed on their resale value.
Mhm.
Like, I think we would all be very happy if a year from now we look up Shadow Hal and see it going for $30.
Like, oh no, things that we like
I,
are actually affordable now.
I'm not sure I expect that to happen, but I think we'd all like. Actually, I want to see what Shadow Hal goes for right now, because
What was it, like 300 something last
Shadow Hal
time?
was one where people actually got upset at us. No,
Because
not
we told
true.
them they were being stupid because they were obviously going to release a fuller version later, and
Okay,
look, they did.
who is spending $200 on Shadow Hal at this point? True Shadow Hal is out and it's better. Like, people are buying like the sets of the fancy ones for $10, and then people are buying like the normal the original one, and they're spending like $200 on it. Who's spending $200 on a used Shadow Hal? I mean, you can spend your money on whatever you want, but it's stupid. I think all three of us actually really agree on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you're an adult, you can ruin your life, but we're gonna laugh at you.
It's like I'm 100% sure Dev wants both of those Frontier D scanners. Dev's an adult. She has things she needs to spend the money on, so she's not going to.
Nope.
Yeah. And then last chance for you guys
Like,
in the
I
chat.
unfortunately know how to budget things.
Yeah. And then this was the interesting question we mentioned earlier. Someone asked, after listening to you guys talk about it, I admit I don't get what the Digimon Ghost Game team is writing towards. What do you think is the writing goal? So we talked about this with Adventure 2020 a lot, where we kind of we're reasonably sure they're doing exactly what they want. Ghost
Yeah.
Game's a bit different because it doesn't even seem to match what they talked about, but I have a theory on this.
Okay, you go first.
Okay.
They're just having something on air.
You're close. So every Digimon series is toyetic, but the toys are more of an ongoing thing, or they just want to sell whatever. Ghost Game has an actual product, which is the watch. I'm not going to say Vital Bracelet each time, so I'm just going to say the watch. And the thing is it launched with one, and they probably knew there was going to be a nicer one. They have to keep the show on the air until the nicer one's out. They can't move the plot forward. So there's probably my idea is I think there's probably something like 26 episodes worth of plot for the story, and they can't move it forward until they actually know when they're going to end. So
like just waiting for it's sort of like Atmon before the
yes,
Duo came out, except it's much, much, much longer.
yes,
Yeah.
I think they have to wait for the VV, and at some point they'll be told the show is going to end at this point. Now is when do the plot to sell the VV, is what I think is going on. So it is, filler isn't quite the right word because it's what the show is at this point.
Yeah.
But I
which
think
I'll get into.
It's on standby.
That could
it's just cruising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. AR, I think you had a longer one. Maybe Dev should go first because I think yours was more detailed. I think.
Not so much. It's
okay, you go ahead. Then. You go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think that as far as the way the episodes are kind of oriented now has shifted quite a bit, because I think at first, like towards the first half of what we've seen with Ghost Game so far, they had a horror trope that they were writing around the horror trope, that they wanted to go, okay, this is a cool horror trope that we're enjoying. We're going to find a Digimon that's appropriate to that, and we're going to kind of spin the story around this trope and play with that a little bit. Now I feel like what they're doing, and this is what's getting them into trouble, is they're picking a Digimon, whether it's a new one or an old one that they kind of want to dig up, like Shadramon, and they're kind of going, okay, what can we write around this? And because it doesn't really have that horror background, the stories are just kind of lame.
That's I hadn't considered that. That actually is an interesting one to think about, where it's just they're picking. So your idea is mostly they're, rather than having a story and figuring out what to do, how to make that story, we're going to use Digimon X, and then they try to write a horror story around it, even if it doesn't really work, or even if it doesn't add anything of depth,
or even if it's a story that they've done a million times before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one that I hadn't considered, to be honest. It's possible. But yeah, that's an interesting one I hadn't thought of.
And it doesn't contradict what you're saying either.
No, it doesn't, because they could just be
and also look at the dim.
They could 100% just be throwing stuff at the wall while they're waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dev, what do you think could be going on?
Sorry, my earpiece died a little bit.
Okay, what do you think could be going on, Dev?
A mixture of those, but also because it's a toyetic series, they're whoring Digimon from the dims, because half the time when I see a preview, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm trying to figure out what it is, and then I look at what recent-ish dims came out. It's like, okay, it's a good chance it's one of these. And lo and behold, it often is.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it does it feel focused enough for that, to be honest, though? Like, how often do they even really show off the Vital Bracelet outside the evolution scenes? We maybe see someone pick it up.
They're not using the watch. They're not featuring the watch as hard as they do in other seasons. Like, it just gets that evolution, and sometimes they'll go to that AR space, and that's really the only functions of it.
I 100% think the place Dev hit the nail on the head, though, is Espimon and Ryudomon. They have almost no place in the show when they appear. They literally walk on screen, go, well, that's a weird thing, and then they walk out, and then we do not see them again for the rest of the episode.
Yep.
It's
like, hey, they look at these cute guys. You like them.
It's like the writers show up and they imagine the studio audience applauding, and that's their only appearance.
Yes,
and the studio audience doesn't actually care.
That is 100%, I would say, one of the weakest parts of Ghost Game is they've introduced side characters that we're supposed to think are important, but they don't do anything. They literally show up and they go, that's strange, and then that's it.
I don't even know what Ryudomon's shtick is supposed to be. Like, we know Espimon's shtick, and
we haven't seen Ryudomon enough to know his shtick.
He's just there.
Yes.
And he was there once beyond his initial episode.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that he hasn't even really shown up. Like, he was there for 30 seconds dancing, and then he was not involved with the episode despite him being a fan of the people being harassed.
Yeah, I assumed that he was just going to be following them around.
Also, here's the thing. It's easy to pull it off with Espimon because he's a small little fast guy. How fast does Ryudomon actually go?
He's a dinosaur, dragon, fluffy thing with short legs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
he kind of trundles.
Like here's the thing. Last week they should freak out. They should go save the people, and they go back, and Ryudamon's just getting out the front door. Oh no! I just realized who I turned Ryudamon into in my head. He's Eeyore.
Oh my god.
He's just trudging along.
Don't disrespect Eeyore like that.
Well, Eeyore's well written and interesting.
Yeah, Eeyore has an interesting character. Ryudamon is stumbly dinosaur.
Okay. AR, what have you been up to, and what are you going to be up to?
Well, I wrote an interesting piece on Tumblr the other day. Someone asked me to rank the seasons based on the quality of their villains. So that's up, and
I don't remember if I skimmed it or read it, but I remember I vaguely recall a line like Ghost Game doesn't have villains.
Yeah, that was an easy last place.
Yeah.
But you'll have to read the rest you'll have to read it for the rest of them.
I think I did. I'm just trying to remember the order. I think 02 was second or first.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
It was 02 was
because you talk about Ken a lot, I think.
Well, Ken's great. The others are okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is you kind of have to weight everything. The original Adventure was first place.
Yeah. Okay.
Which actually kind of surprised me, but yeah.
Adventure is very consistent throughout.
Almost. Devimon's
a very nice rogues gallery.
Devimon's a crap villain, but everyone else is solid to great.
And what are you going to be up to, AR?
I don't know. I have to check my message backlog to see if I've got anything interesting coming up. But I am on Tumblr at firstagent.tumblr.com and on Twitter at firstagentarp.
I'm not sure if you almost tripped saying that or if my brain skipped while you were talking.
I almost tripped saying
Okay, that's what I thought. It was one of those where I don't know if I lost attention for a moment. Or
it's weird because you ask that every week and I still have to think about what my URL is.
Well, it happens to me with the intro where I have to remember there's 3 different things I'm saying, and sometimes I will mix them up or whatnot.
At least I'm remembering.
And sometimes we get mixed up when you mix that up.
Yes. Yeah. Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read?
Go look at Soulmon because it is spoopy month, so you should look at a spoopy Digimon with a hat.
This would be a great. I think the most sassy one to go would be out of Jarumon.
Why?
I think we did that one before. Though.
Why? That's an identical Digimon that was in a episode that theoretically was better. I say theoretically because at this point I think they might be roughly the same.
No, I think it was. See, I know I graded it better.
No, but here's the thing: was it actually better, or was it just that we were less annoyed at the time?
I think
the character was actually better.
Yeah, the character of Ada Jarumon was actually better. The kid was boring as hell, but the actual story was a little more compelling.
I will give you all those. You actually are correct. You're actually right. It was a more compelling story and more interesting. And it did not end as 99% of Atmon episodes do.
No.
Okay. We will catch you guys later. Thanks for showing up and listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.